These lessons could change your future. Just one small click. Subscribe and grow with us.
In this book, author Yuval Noah Harari tells us about the history of humans. You will learn about Homo sapiens in this book. The book will help us to understand the situation and understanding human beings. Sapiens is a book that explores what it means to be human by examining our past, present, and future. From the book, we can understand ourselves better, how we came into the world, and our real meaning. Author Dr. Yuval Noah Harari is an internationally recognized historian and philosopher. He has told about those concepts in the book which traces the foundation of how humans evolved from nomadic monkeys to philosophical creatures, which became the meaning of our lives. This means that this book will teach us how we became humans from monkeys. Here are some of the things you can expect from the book. A comprehensive overview of human history, from our early origins to the present day. Harari's unique insights into human nature, including our ability to create and believe in fiction, our dependence on cooperation, and our potential for great things. A well-written and engaging book that is full of interesting facts and stories. Animals like modern humans first appeared 2.5 million years ago. The earliest humans were animals that did not have much influence on their environment compared to gorillas, fireflies, or jellyfish. The revolution of human existence began about 70,000 years before the birth of sapiens. Until about 10,000 years ago, many different types of human species existed. Homo sapiens is one of many different species of humans that survived despite all the natural disasters. During this time, many species flourished in different parts of the world, like Homo neanderthalensis lived in Europe and Western Asia. Homo erectus populated the eastern regions of Asia and lived there for 2 million years, making it the most durable human species ever. Homo solensis occupied the island of Java in Indonesia. Homo florescensis was a dwarf human, only 3.5 feet tall and weighing no more than 25 kgs. They lived on the island of Flores, Indonesia. Homo denisova lived in Siberia. Homo rudolfensis, people around Rudolph Lake, evolved in East Africa. All humans have bigger brains than other animals. A big brain is a huge energy drain. We achieved our big brains by spending more time wandering around and looking for food and muscles. 300,000 years ago, humans used fire every day. Due to this, humans understood cooking. Cooked food made food items capable of being digested. 70,000 years ago, the sapiens of East Africa spread to what is now known as Saudi Arabia, the Arab region, and from there, they quickly occupied part of the entire medieval world. Research on the human species shows that sapiens originated with the rest of the human population. The replacement theory suggests that sapiens could not reproduce with other humans. So, they were only close to the females of their community and would have killed many people if they went to new areas in search of more resources. Thus, because these people were more powerful, as soon as the sapiens reached a new place, the species there was almost extinct. After which, only Homo sapiens remained in the end, which has developed into today's modern humans, and we all belong to this human species. Bow arrows and needles were invented about 70,000 to 30,000 years ago. Homo sapiens also started learning and doing things of regional, commercial, and social management, which in today's time we call the Art Age. This period is known as the revolution of human civilization. With this, language was created, and due to this, Homo sapiens made a lot of strength among themselves due to good mutual communication and started learning and exploring new things faster than before. Ancient humans not only changed their behavior this way, but also invented new devices, and despite genetic or environmental challenges, they settled in new areas and tried new things. This revolution is the point in history when humans, developing their understanding of biology, started knowing and taking advantage of its benefits. It is difficult to predict how the old people lived because very few artifacts give a definite proof of this. There is a big difference between the life of today's forest dwellers and the old ones. Agriculture and industrial societies influence today's forest dwellers. At the same time, the old people were not. Today's forest dwellers survive in difficult climatic conditions and inaccessible areas. This is very different from the old societies roaming in the fertile zone. Dogs were the first pets. About 15,000 years ago, humans knew far more things than today's ancestors. Older people were as fit as marathon runners and had higher physical fitness than people today. Many people today cannot achieve that easily, even after practicing yoga, etc. They used to work only 35 to 45 hours a week. He tried to enjoy more different experiences throughout his life. Those people used to indulge such activities in their daily lives, including eating healthy, which naturally made them happier and healthier than they are today. So the old forest dwellers suffered little from infectious diseases. The old forest dwellers have also been defined as true rich societies because the real rich are those who have more things than they need and good health. Sapiens crossed the ocean to reach Australia 45,000 years ago, but within a few thousand years, 23 of 24 Australian animal species weighing 50 kgs or more were extinct. Such a big change in weather pattern happened 45,000 years ago. After that, the Sapiens deliberately burned large open grasslands in Australia and other parts to make good living places there. But within 2,000 years of Sapiens' invasion of the Americas, North America had lost 34 of its 47 species of larger species. Homo sapiens wiped out about half of the planet's large animals long before humans invented the wheel, writing, or iron tools. In this way, with time, as there were new inventions in our world, some species grew rapidly and others disappeared due to environmental or invasion. Sapiens, 10,000 years ago, to start a new era of easy life instead of wandering here and there for food, started the agricultural revolution and started growing crops like plants and wheat and maize in one place. Along with wheat, rice and potatoes growing some other plants, humans kept domestic animals such as dogs for their protection. These crops gave them more opportunities to do something new by staying in one place. At the end of the Ice Age, wheat began to grow more than before as the temperature warmed. When humans burnt the dense forests, it also helped produce more wheat. When wheat started growing, rice and other such food sources also started becoming available in large quantities. In this way, until the nomadic humans became farmers, they learned farming techniques in more advanced methods. This helped them a lot in cultivating more. In this way, due to food availability, people started living in groups with each other more than before, and the villages began to be formed, and the population started increasing, and they started selling more food items. For this, humans started using domestic animals such as sheep, donkeys, and other animals to make food and carry raw materials and goods from here to there. With the advent of agriculture, the management of the future became one of the most important parts of human life. It also laid the foundation of political and social systems. With this, education got more boost over time because it started becoming a belief that to take maximum advantage of our human potential, we should have as many types of experiences as possible. That's why people made more and more things to grow, travel here and there, and take new experiences and learn something new. Between 3500 and 3000 BC, the Sumerian races invented cuneiform, the first written language in southern Mesopotamia. The law is not included. Instead, it is mainly related to documents, economics, recording of payment of taxes, etc. For the packaging of these documents, there were colored cords made of wool or cotton in which knots were tied at different places. Large number of data was easily recorded by combining different knobs on different cords with different colors. Researchers do not claim that any major society has successfully eliminated discrimination completely. In many societies, discrimination existed on one or the other basis. But with this, a good thing was found in the people of civilized society, that they used to try to live in harmony with each other from the beginning till today. Every culture has different beliefs, criteria, and values, making them different and special from each other. Similarly, in Western culture, freedom and equality are considered basic values. We all want more of a justified society so that all of us can be benefited, for which the government makes rules and increases taxes, whereas Republicans want to increase freedom. Due to this, there can be a big difference in income between rich and poor. But instead of all this, we should remove the things that create differences, because it is most important for us humans to be together. Over the centuries, smaller and other cultures have gradually developed into larger and stronger civilizations. Due to this, society was formed, and all of us human beings are connected with humanity despite being of different cultures. And through this humanity, we all help each other when they are in need. Early humans did not have money because they used to get food and other needs from the forest. But as the population increased, so did the need, and things started falling short. Money was invented to meet these needs, meaning now only those people who had money could fulfill their needs. With this development, money started to be used, and with time, money became very important to live life. People exchanged goods and services with money. For about 4,000 years, cowrie shells were used as money throughout Africa, South Asia, East Asia, and Oceania. Gradually, all things were bought and sold through money only. And in the same way, people started connecting through money. How did money work? Money is not a physical reality but a psychological belief. It serves to convert anything into a price. But the question is, why is this method successful? Why should anyone be willing to exchange a fertile rice paddy for a handful of worthless cowries? Why would you agree to flip hamburgers at a store, sell insurance, or babysit 3 strange children when all you get for your efforts are a few pieces of colored paper? People who trust their social imagination are willing to do such things. Trust is the raw material from which all types of money are extracted. In the days of cowries, when a wealthy farmer sold his land for a bag of cowries and then traveled to another state, he was confident that when he reached there other people would give him rice and a house and be ready to sell the farm. In this way, money is a system of mutual trust. What created this trust was a very complex and extensive network of political, social, and financial relations. Why do you believe in cowries, gold coins, or rupee notes today? Because your neighbors believe in them, and your neighbors trust them because you trust them. And we all believe in them because our king or political power believes in them and collects taxes in that form. Take a note and go through it carefully. You will see that it is just a colored piece of paper, which has the signature of the Indian Treasury Secretary on one side and a promise to make payment on the other. We accept rupees as payment because we trust each other and the Indian Treasury Secretary. In the beginning, when early versions of money were created, people did not have this kind of confidence, so it was necessary to define money as something that had actual value. The first currency in history was the Sumerian barley currency. It operated in Sumer around 3000 BC. This was also the time when writing began. Just as writing developed to meet the need to carry out administrative activities efficiently and quickly, barley money was designed to meet the need to speed up economic activities. Barley's money was just barley. A fixed quantity of barley grains was used as a universal pricing method to transact all other goods and services. The most common measure was the silla, approximately equal to 1 kilo of barley. Standardized bowls were made, each of which could hold 1 silla. These bowls were produced on a large scale so that everywhere people needed to buy and sell anything, it was easy to measure the required quantity of barley. Salary was also fixed and paid in barley size. A male laborer earned 60 sillas every month, and a female laborer earned 30 sillas. A supervisor could make between 1200 and 5000 silla. Even the hungriest man could not eat 5,000 liters or kgs of barley in a month, but the silla he could not use was used for all sorts of other things such as oil, goats, enslaved people, and could buy something else to eat besides barley. However, it was easier to rely on barley as money at the time because it had inherent biological value. Humans could eat it, but on the other hand, barley was challenging to store and transport. The real breakthroughs in the history of currency came when people gained confidence in high-value money that was easy to store and transport. Such money appeared in ancient Mesopotamia in the mid-3rd century BC, in which the currency was silver shekels. The silver shekel was not a coin but 8.33 grams of silver. Unlike the barley shekel, the silver shekel had no inherent or underlying value. Silver could not be eaten, drunk, or worn, and it was too soft to make tools. In this way, fixed weights of precious metals eventually gave rise to coins. The first coinage in history was struck by King Aliates of Lydia in western Anatolia around 640 BC. These coins had a fixed weight of gold or silver and were imprinted on them. The identification mark in the form of an imprint testified to two things. First of all, how much metal was in the coin. Second, it identified the authorized person who issued the coin and guaranteed its quality and durability. Almost all the cash in use today is made in the format of Lydian coins. Coins had two significant advantages over unmarked metal or metal ingots. For example, there was no need to weigh it again and again, and secondly, there was no need to check its quality again and again. For example, how would the cobbler, who has limited knowledge of metals, know that the silver he had taken in exchange for his shoes was made of pure silver and not of lead, which was thin silver on the outside. For example, how would the cobbler, who has limited knowledge of metals, know that the silver he had taken in exchange for his shoes was made of pure silver and not lead, which was thin silver on the outside? Was it covered with a layer? Coins helped solve these problems. Since the marks on the coins testified to their exact value, the shoemaker only needed to enter the money in his register. More importantly, the impact on the currency was the signature of a political authority which guaranteed the value and quality of the coin. The size of this mark varied considerably throughout history, but the message was always the same. I, the great king, give you my word that this metal coin contains exactly the same grams of gold or silver or this metal. If anyone dares to copy this coin, he is copying my signature, which will stain my reputation. I will give very severe punishment to such a criminal. This is why counterfeiting money has always been considered a more severe crime than other acts of fraud. Counterfeiting is not just fraud, it is a violation of sovereignty, a kind of treason against the power and privileges of the king. As long as people trusted the king's strength and integrity, they counted his coins. As such, even strangers would quickly agree on the value of the Roman Empire's denarius coin because they had confidence in the power and integrity of the Roman emperor, whose name and image were printed on the coin. In turn, the power of the emperor rested on the dinar. Just imagine how difficult it would have been to maintain the Roman Empire without coins. If the emperor had to collect taxes in the form of barley and wheat and pay salaries, so it would have been impossible to collect taxes in the form of barley from Syria, deliver them to the central treasury of Rome, and take them back to the Britain to pay the troops there. Coins were easy to use and transport, so their popularity increased, and till today, we see their use in the form of cash and notes. Digital money, made with today's advanced technology like Paytm, GPay, and net banking, is also in its updated form because these currencies can be easily carried anywhere and used for payment. Early humans had no religion, but as humans developed, they also developed their understanding. After that, religion was created to keep each other apart. Universal and missionary religions began to appear in the first millennium BC, but religion is often seen as a form of discrimination, disagreement, and alienation today. Due to this, the distance between the people has increased. The first effect of religion was seen in the agricultural revolution, which was for plants and animals. Since then, humans have understood religion as their values and identity. Since then, secularism has been growing in the last 300 years. People believe in ideologies such as capitalism, communism, nationalism, or liberalism as much as they do their believers in religion. This ideology and religion are the same thing in a way. Humanists worship the religion and believe we have a unique and clean nature different from all other animals and phenomena. Liberal humanism holds that humanity is a quality of human beings linked to our freedom. Socialist humanism states that humanity is meant to be together rather than individual, whereas liberal humanism wants as much freedom from humans as possible, and finally, socialist humanism seeks equality among all human beings, meaning all of them want their own well-being along with their own religion. Religion is often considered a source of discrimination, disagreement, and disunity today. But in reality, along with money and empire, religion has been a great way to unite humanity. Although all religions have social beliefs and rules, Each religion ultimately emphasizes that our laws are not the result of human whims but created by a perfect and best creator. This helps us accept some basic things and keep them beyond the challenge of denying them, due to which social security is maintained and people can live together. Thus, religion can be defined as a system of human standards and values based on belief in a supernatural system. It consists of two different criteria. 1. Religion believes that the most potent system runs this world and has made these rules for us. 2. Based on this powerful system, religion tells some ways followers should do and some ways that should be avoided. Religion had to have two more qualities to unite different groups of human beings from its earliest times till today. First, it must support a universal supernatural belief that is always true everywhere. Secondly, it should insist on spreading this faith to all. In other words, it must be adaptable and missionary. The religion that considered these things spread rapidly. Historically, the most famous faiths, such as Islam and Buddhism, have been universal and missionary. By doing this, people start believing that all religions are like them. In reality, most ancient religions were local and specific. His followers believed in local gods and spirits and had no interest in converting the entire human race. In this way, every religion started and spread in its path. But the main thing in all religions was to unite the human race, to give the right to all the people who believe in it to live safely and happily in society. That's why religion has created the most significant revolutions in history, created and destroyed empires, and has made an essential contribution to the unification of humanity. Sometimes it becomes difficult to understand old things. One thing is certain. Early humans must have faced defeat many times until they developed. Many times their life was in danger. But despite all this, humans made their development and gave a solid foundation to today's humans. History is not made for the benefit of humankind. Instead, through history, people can understand their situations and their ancestors. Through this, they can help the coming generation to develop well. Although today's humans have found many ways of success, man is capable of increasing himself. The best and most memorable moment of the last 500 years came on July 16, 1945 at 05:29:45, when American scientists detonated the first atomic bomb within a second of Alamogordo, New Mexico. Since then, the power has developed in humans to change the things that happened in history. Humans have reached such a height that they could change their past and create a better future. Even after this, poverty remains a problem in society that has not been completely removed. Two types of poverty have afflicted society: the social poverty created by the rich and the biological poverty which persists due to lack of food and living space. Social poverty may never be eliminated, but biological poverty has been eliminated in many countries around the world, and constantly trying to eliminate it completely. Between 1500 and 1750, Western Europe began to grow rapidly, including the two American continents and the ocean. This became possible only because of great powers like Asia showed little interest in them, which gave them a chance to advance. Gradually, it spread to the whole of Europe. Only between 1750 and 1850 did Europe become a major power. With this, Europe conquered large parts of Asia and spread European culture throughout Asia. Due to this, today, all the people in Asia use European culture in their clothes, thinking, and taste. Along with this, modern science also developed due to European empires. During the 15th and 16th centuries, Europeans began to create maps of the world with lots of blank spaces. Before this, people were unaware of a large part of the European world. After creating the map, people started knowing the empty places easily. With science, these empires harnessed their power and changed the world immensely. From this, the world has learned about doing justice and started fighting for his rightful land or share. In the last 500 years, the idea of progress made people worthy of trusting more and more in the future. And this development strengthened the trust and people started borrowing. Since then, they have started working for their own benefit. The new capitalist sect believes that we must reuse the profits of production to increase production. Capitalism has gradually become much more than just an economic theory. Now it also includes ethics. This shows how people should behave, educate their children, and even think. And it all depends on capitalism. After 1908 and after 1945, capitalist greed had subsided somewhat, yet the inequalities remain. Because of this, people continue to discriminate. For centuries, gunpowder was used to make bombs, but later they were used in guns. It took about 600 years for gunpowder to be made and artillery developed. It was very difficult and expensive to separate the metal from its raw metal. For a long time, aluminium was much more expensive than gold. In the 1860s, Emperor Napoleon III of France built aluminium cutlery for his most important guests. The less important guests had to operate with gold knives and forks. Then, 2000 years ago, when people in the basin were unhappy with dry skin, they started applying olive oil to their hands, from which the use of oil was started. The kings used to spend carelessly on frivolous things, while the peasants lived an economic life by taking care of every penny. But today, it is just the opposite. Today, the rich take great care in managing their wealth and investments, while low-income people take loans to buy cars and TVs, which they don't need. Similarly, the industry started being used in different ways. The possibility of resource depletion in the future is not very high, but there is a danger of the extinction of natural things and the disappearance of most of the other species. The Industrial Revolution has set a template for almost all human activities, through which people can easily survive. Transportation invented the cheap but perfect portable watch. Markets were created on its surface, where things started being made in large quantities. The market became huge, and it became impossible for all the customers in the market to know each other. In the last 2 centuries, the pace of change has become so fast that the social system has progressed rapidly. It is now going on and on. The world has changed so much today that a 30-year-old person can honestly say, "When I was little, the world was completely different." In the years since the 9/11 attacks, despite all the talk of terrorism and war, the risk of death from a terrorist, soldier, or drug dealer of humans remains. Historians often avoid the question, does progress make people happy? It is not necessary that new abilities, behaviors, and skills are necessary for a better life. Instead, social, moral, and spiritual factors in the form of physical conditions have a huge impact on our happiness. Even in the modern rich society, people live a life of isolation and meaninglessness despite their wealth, whereas our less developed ancestors attained a lot of satisfaction by staying with their community religion, and nature. Today's people are still searching for real happiness. Money only brings happiness to an extent, but it has no importance till the end. We humans have been developed to control electrical signals from our brain. We can use our brain to make everything we need and use every useless thing in our work. We humans have developed so much that we have almost everything we need today. We humans have made the strongest and smartest device, the computer, which we use to use things easily. Today, everything consists of a small computer that controls it and helps us. Humans have developed our minds so much over time that today it has become easy to make from pencil to plane. As we evolved and started using our brains to make our lives easier. By the way, in the same way, we became much wiser and stronger than the early humans. In this way, due to the gradual technological development, Homo sapiens came to an end, and it is being built up in today's humans with the help of understanding and skill, which we call modern humans. Today's man can do everything that was probably a dream for early humans. Similarly, humans changed from Homo sapiens to modern humans, and a developed culture came before the world. Friends, what we have learned so far from this book, let us repeat it once to be easily remembered. The world is not what it seems. We often believe that the world is fixed and stable, but it is constantly changing. We are not the only ones here. There are many other species on Earth, and we must learn to live in harmony with them. We are all connected. We are all part of a larger web of life, and our actions impact others, whether we know it or not. The future is not set in stone. We have the power to shape the future, but we need to act wisely and need to find meaning in life. Life is not about accumulating possessions or achieving fame. It is about finding something that gives our lives meaning. So this was the book summary of Sapiens, where Yuval Noah Harari talks about the origins of humans. Yuval Noah Harari is an Israeli historian, public intellectual, and professor of history at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. He is best known for his books Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, Homo, A Brief History of Tomorrow, and 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. Harari is a controversial figure. His work has been praised for its insights and its ability to make complex ideas accessible to a wide audience. However, it has also been criticized for being simplistic and for promoting a secular worldview.
You're watching, learning, feeling. Will you stay with us? Just one click to subscribe means everything.
If your journey feels stuck, you're not alone. We've got you. If you found value in this video, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps more curious minds discover this content. Subscribe to Being and Beyond and join a growing community that thrives on knowledge, perspective, and personal growth. And if this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Your support fuels our passion and pushes us to create better content. Welcome to Being and Beyond.